It's KFI AM 640, and you're listening to The Conway Show on demand on the iHeartRadio app.
I'm usually a slow adopter of certain technology. I love technology, but I'm kind of slow on the uptick, if only because I want to make sure that it's safe, it's secure, it's sound, and it also makes sense. I can use it a number of places. I was really slow adopting the idea of Uber. I was really slow using an actual digital boarding pass to get on a plane. I always had a hard copy backup because I was worried about my phone not working or it not being able to scan, which did happen, at least early on. And then the technology got better, and now I will never print out a boarding pass again if I can, avoid it. Along those same lines, a few weeks ago, I added my California driver's license, a digital version I added to my Google Wallet.
You did that a few weeks ago, you said?
Yes.
Did it just get available a few weeks ago for you, or you just did it then?
No, it's been available for a while. But Apple, as the news was announced today, Apple was late to the game, I guess.
Yeah.
I could do it on Google because it took me about maybe 5-10 minutes. I had to go through the DMV website to do it, which I think is different from iPhone. You could do it straight from your phone, and it will direct you.
I wonder if that's tied to the Apple Wallet's whole, things with them being sued about allowing other credit cards and banks and stuff to allow you to put other credit cards onto your wallet, which they hadn't done. They'd made it so tight knit that you couldn't get anything on there. And I'm wondering if it was sort of intermixed with that, not being able to put your license on your wallet.
Maybe, because Apple has always had a tighter ecosystem.
Yeah.
Google, I have other documents and credit cards which are in the Google Wallet that I can use, be it a debit card. Like, for example, if I forget my wallet at home, I can even forget my phone at home. I can use my watch at Google, and at Google Pay, it's like, oh my gosh, I forgot everything. And I can go boop and still pay for stuff.
And Apple, of course, they've been losing like all of the lawsuits in Europe over this exact thing with their Apple Wallet.
They have, and they've had to just figure out how to remain current in that regard.
Yeah.
And my phone is talking to me right now.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, because it thought I was talking to it. I wasn't trying to.
Wait, you don't have an Apple phone, do you?
No, and I never
yours
will.
Just randomly starts talking, does it?
Because
sounds like a great piece of technology.
Oh, here we go. What I could do, I could say, hey, SIRI, and mess up everybody's day. Everybody's day.
Mine doesn't work. I have never really had that issue before.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know if it's just
Have you voice activated, set up your voice
maybe
pattern?
That's what it is. Maybe it's a setting in there that I turned on.
Yeah, I have to do that on mine. You get a new phone or whatever, you have to train it to recognize your voice. And then I can say, like, okay, Google.
Hey, Siri.
Set an alarm for 8 p.m. tomorrow.
Nope. Nope.
Yes, they won't talk to me now. It's just, it's just, it's like a circus animal. Now, when it's time to show out and perform, they don't want to perform.
Right.
But anyhow, Apple has now added the capability where you can use your iPhone and add your California driver's license to your Apple Wallet. And it can only be used in certain locations. You can't, show it to a law enforcement officer when you get pulled over for speeding and say, it's on my phone. Or as you might do it, it's on my phone. No, it's not going to help you. You have to have the physical driver's license, or you'll be taken to jail or at least cited for not having proper identification.
Californians with iPhones can now store their driver's license right in their digital wallet. Governor Gavin Newsom announced today the option is now available for iPhones and Apple Watches. To add your ID, click the plus symbol at the top of the screen in your Apple Wallet and follow the prompts to verify your ID card. The feature is part of the DMV's broader mobile driver's license pilot program that launched last year. Digital IDs can be shown at select businesses and TSA checkpoints, but carrying a physical card is still required.
Yeah, it can be very handy if and when it's accepted in all the places. Now, on my version of it, I can use it. I can use it to generate a QR code, and then I can give it to send that to like a bartender if I had to verify my age, if I actually looked under 21 or something, or if they wanted to verify my ID.
Oh, man.
Look, those days are long gone.
Yeah.
But it was nice because when I went to Disneyland Resort a couple weeks ago, and maybe the bartender was hitting on me or something, that's what I want to tell myself.
Fella or lady?
It was a lady.
Oh, all right.
And my wife was like sitting like
That's
a
a
ways away.
switch.
Yeah. And she asked me, it was one of the bars in downtown Disney. And she asked, hey, I got to see your ID, and I was like, oh, okay. Well, I'm closer to 90 than I am 20, but okay, why not? Then I should have said, oh, you look a lot younger than your age suggests. I said, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know why? Because you shave your head for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah, because my gray's been coming in. It's been a few years since I gotten that.
Yeah.
And I'm not shaving my head. That is not a pretty sight for anybody.
Look, the little things mean so much as you get older. My wife was looking at me, she was not hitting on you. It's like, look, that is what I'm going to tell myself. I need that ego boost every now and then.
Shush, woman, I got my own mind to think of.
Right. You're going to argue with me about whether a woman was hitting on me? We're not going to have that argument. It's going to be what I think it is. And I think that she wanted some of me. That's what I'm going to think going to sleep tonight, all right?
Slice of this cake.
She was not happy with me, but Michael, that's what happens when you're married.
We need the ladies to keep our egos in check. We do.
And I try to explain that to my wife. Men are ego driven.
Thank you.
And it's not about whether you are trying to get with someone.
Yeah, it don't mean anything to you, baby, but
no,
it means a lot to me.
It means everything to me. Because I would like to feel like if I had to, I could still do. That's the only way I can put it.
It's got to be there. Otherwise, I'm just going to go downhill, and none of us want that.
We'll never know. But at least I can tell myself that I could have.
Working out, doing all those things. It's not just for her, but she don't need to know that.
You can't explain that to women.
Right.
You can't explain that to wives. It's like, why are you working out all of a sudden? Nothing.
For me?
No reason. Just for me.
I want to stick around a little longer for you.
Yeah, I like to look at myself when I'm naked in the mirror.
Oh, all right. You're on your own island there. There was the line.
Wait a minute. I'm the only one? I'm the only one who likes to look at myself.
Steph seemed to laugh at that too. He almost played your rim shot.
He said, I am not going to get near that with a rim shot. No, sir.
So to speak.
No, thank you. I think it's time to go to break.
Mark, come on in early.
When we come back, if you're like me, you probably get eaten up by mosquitoes this time of year. And the mosquitoes in California seem to be far more aggressive than anywhere else in the country. They're just really, really aggressive, and they won't take no for an answer. No means no. They don't listen to that. They just keep biting. And there might be a reason, and we'll tell you why. It has everything to do with what you may drink. So if you drink this one drink, you might make yourself more attractive to mosquitoes. We'll tell you about it next. It's the Conway Show. Mo Kelly in for Tim. KFI AM 640. I still got it.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. on demand from KFI AM 640.
I get bitten by mosquitoes all the damn time. I don't know why it is.
Sweet meat.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. There's something special. I can't say that. Yes,
because your wife will tell you no, that's not the case.
It's so weird because the people that we love and the people who are supposed to support us the most are the ones who always make sure that we never get a big head.
Yeah, that's good, and it sucks.
Yeah. It's like, can you be my biggest fan just once?
How about that?
Just be a cheerleader in a little cheerleading outfit.
And it always just seems like it's at the perfect moment, too. Just when you're starting to feel a little bit comfortable and full of yourself. Yeah. Here they come in to...
Yeah, it's like, hey, I think I've been losing weight. Doesn't it look like I've been losing weight?
Well,
no, you look about the same to me.
It's moving around. I wouldn't say lost.
Yeah. I mean, your butt's bigger. I don't know. I haven't seen you on a scale. Get on the scale. Never mind. Marriage, you got to love it.
I love me some me. Well, that's one of us.
That's right. If you're not going to be your own biggest cheerleader, then who?
Thank you.
Anyhow, back to mosquitoes. They tear me up for some reason. I think, is there something that I'm doing? Is there something that I'm eating? Is there something that I'm drinking which makes me more appealing or attractive to the mosquitoes? Well, there's a drink which does make mosquitoes more attracted to you. And there's a National Geographic experiment which reported that 43 men were recruited in West Africa and were sent into one of two outdoor tents that were sealed. One tent was unoccupied. But in the second tent, volunteers either drank a liter of water or a liter of beer. We do know that mosquitoes track down their prey via smell. So to ensure these mosquitoes got a whiff of the volunteers, a fan started to pump air from each of the tents down various tubes into a full cup of mosquitoes. The smell of a beer drinker 15 minutes after downing a liter increased the proportion of mosquitoes inclined to fly into the tubes by 65%.
Wow.
The takeaway, obviously, is if you're drinking beer, you are more attracted to mosquitoes. The drink that makes mosquitoes infinitely more attracted to you is only listed here as beer. I'm tending to believe it's alcohol because I don't drink beer. The only time I drink beer is if I'm at a Dodger game. That's the only time I drink beer.
Yeah.
Because I like to have beer, peanuts, and some Dodger dogs. But I'll get eaten up by mosquitoes whenever they're around. It's so bad where I try not to go down south in the summer for that reason, or anywhere it's hot and humid. Stop it, Michael.
Sorry.
Stop it, Michael. Stop. See?
It's a different kind of mosquito, too, because here we've talked about, the last few years, the proliferation of these ankle biter mosquitoes specifically. Yes. And those are the ones that hang around during the day, not like in the morning or in the evening like regular mosquitoes would normally do, but they hang around in the day and they float south of basically your knees, unlike regular mosquitoes. So you can't see them.
You can't.
Much.
And you'll walk through, let's say, a grassy patch. Yeah. And all of a sudden, for me, I start scratching vigorously.
Yes.
I'm one thing I left out. I'm actually allergic to mosquito bites. And if I get too many, if I get too many, I will start swelling up like a balloon.
Wow.
And I have to usually take some sort of Benadryl to calm down the reaction because I will swell up like golf balls on my face. If I get one on my face, I don't have to scratch it or anything. It's almost like someone punched me.
Regardless of the type of mosquito? I mean, as far as you've been able to tell?
As far as I can tell, it does not matter if I'm bitten by a mosquito in Washington, D.C. or L.A. or Long Beach. It does not matter.
And that's the other problem with these ankle biter mosquitoes is that you don't, with regular mosquitoes, usually you kind of get a feel for when they're on you. At some point with these ankle biters, it's like they've done their damage before you even realize it. And like you say, all of a sudden you're just scratching the hell out of your legs.
It's like I want to scratch to the bone.
Yes.
But one thing I have found, Benadryl has a cream now, an anti-itch cream for bites. And it's wonderful. Wonderful. I found it in the past month or so. And I tried it a few times. It's great. So that's the only way that I can usually counteract it. But I don't drink beer, but I've heard that alcohol still, in general, produces the same effect. So if you want to avoid as many mosquito bites as possible, especially if you're in the outdoors, try not to drink any alcohol because the sweetness of alcohol, from what I understand, draws them in. This study is more confirmation of that. Now, if they don't bite you, that means you're probably just, nasty smelling. Or something like that. Nasty. No, but I don't drink beer. And the only time I ever really drank beer was a couple of times in high school because I went to a high school where people drank beer. They didn't drink hard liquor. So it was, you go to a raging kegger party. Shout out South High School, class of 87. Yeah, but that's about it.
Yeah, as I've gotten older, I'm less and less inclined to beer. I was never really a big beer drinker anyways, but it's just too heavy for me. It's like it doesn't take much before, I'm good. And if I do have a beer, it's usually just one or two and I'm good.
Yeah, it's almost like a special occasion thing where...
It fills you up, man.
It fills you up, and I have never really loved the taste.
Yeah.
There's certain beers I like the taste. I like a Modelo. I like a Heineken.
Absolutely.
I like it, but it's not like I wake up and it's like, you know what? I think I want to have a beer today. I don't have a taste for it. I never have a desire for it, except for when I'm going to watch the Dodgers.
Yeah, and you do have those occasions. Like I'm the same way with like sodas, the same thing. It's like I'm not a big drinker of sodas or beer, but sometimes, man, when you get that really cold one and it just hits right.
I don't drink sodas either, and part of the reason was growing up, I wasn't allowed to drink sodas. It wasn't in the house.
Oh.
But if I go back east, if I go to like the Detroit, I have the taste for a certain type of soda. They have this soda called Faygo.
Oh, yeah.
They call it Red Pop, one of the flavors. So if I'm in a certain location, the nostalgia of having certain drinks, then I'll have a soda. But I don't we have sodas in our kitchen and the vending machines. I've never, ever wanted to buy one, never will buy one.
Are you familiar with the ICP Fago concerts?
That's what I was thinking about.
I had a feeling Steph had that look on his face.
No.
Insane Clown Posse. You just got to look it up. It's what they do during their concerts.
It's like their thing. They'll just open up bottles and spray the crowd with Fago.
And you'll see whole containers going through the crowd. People have been injured. Yeah, it's a whole big thing.
So when you said that,
that's
I was like, wow.
nasty. That's sticky stuff all over you.
Yep.
Well, it's Insane Clown Posse.
Well, that's true. When we come back, we'll get an update on Metro and possibly the addition of cameras to help quell some of the violence. I don't know. Maybe they'll just get all the crimes on camera now. We'll talk about it with Michael Monks in just a second.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. On Demand from KFI AM 640.
And on my show, which is later with Mo Kelly from 7 to 10 p.m., I often talk about the ills of Metro, the issues, the problems, the violence, the unsanitary conditions, the reticence of Metro to actually engage in dialogue with me. But one person who they will speak to is KFI's own Michael Monks, who joins me right now. Michael, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing well, although I have to say I'm a little upset with you and Crozier and the slander you engaged in about pineapple on pizza earlier in the program.
Bite your tongue. I will deal with you in a moment, sir.
You got it.
But I was being serious about how Metro has reached out to you, has spoken to you about KFI's coverage of the issues of Metro. Have they reached out to you recently?
They know I'm a journalist and they know I'm a commuter who uses public transit with relative frequency. So I think they, understand that I might have a better understanding than regular journalists. And also I'm not dumping on them all the time. For me, I'm not an editorial guy. I'm not somebody who's speaking my personal views. But what you say is not inaccurate. It is a challenged system with some difficult conditions and some varieties of unpleasantness when one goes about traveling upon it. So I think it's worth a dialogue.
You danced around that like you were on Dancing with the Stars. That was well done. Very, very agile.
But thank you.
But out of that, I wanted to have a conversation with Metro about what they were trying to do to improve the situation, change the conversation, and what are they recommending right now or hoping to do?
Well, they might get some more cash because they are tired of people parking in the bike lanes, and so is the bus lanes, and so is the city of LA. So they've collaborated on installing cameras on the fronts of certain buses so that they can bust the folks who are doing this. If you're riding on some of the freeways around here, you see some signs that say, hey, if you were on a bus right now, you'd save about 20 minutes. And that's what public transportation is trying to tell folks, that it should, or at least that's what folks are telling public transportation, that it should be incentivized, make it easy and convenient and make it worth my while. So if you're taking a bus around downtown hoping to save on parking, hoping to save on your commute time, that can be disrupted if somebody has parked in the designated bus lane. So they're looking to find these folks. They're going to get you on camera. Then they're going to check to see if you were in fact breaking the law. And then they're going to mail you a fat ticket.
Do we know? I remember this story originally being reported, but now we're at that point where it's actually going to be implemented. Do we know, at least first offense, how much these tickets would be?
Oh, we do indeed. And this is past the City Council's Transportation Committee. So now it's waiting that last step before the City Council. And then they'll have a couple of months of what they're calling a warning period. So the first thing you'll get in the mail or maybe on your dash is, hey, don't do this again. Because if you do it again, they're going to have a fine of about $383 for a first-time offense. And then if you're late, it goes up. It's $283. After that, if you're late, it's $380. If you do it again, if they fine you a second time, it's about $400 that they're going to be ticketing you for doing this. The LA Department of Transportation thinks that they'll be able to get about $5 million a year off of this because they ran a pilot program. They tested it for just 1 month, a few years ago, actually, on just a few routes. And they think they can ticket, based on that estimation, over 100,000 offenders every year.
I know why Metro would like to do this. My question is, me as a driver, let's say I ran afoul and I was ticketed. Is this considered like a parking violation and it could uphold my registration the next year? Or is it considered like a moving violation and I could be hauled into court or failure to appear?
I will find out the specifics of that. All I know at this point is what the fines are supposed to be. This is a parking violation, as far as I know, because it's enforced right now by the parking officers. And those aren't always LAPD. You know, the LADOT has its own branch of folks who are out there enforcing parking regulations in the city. They're not police, they're not sworn officers, but they do enforce the traffic laws. And so that's the entity that's enforcing this. And right now they say, look, we're out there with a few guys here and there, but some folks will see our officers and they're so hell-bent on parking in a bus lane that they'll drive around the block, the officers walk away, and then they snag that spot. And now you won't be able to get away with that, because if a bus is coming up, they're going to get you on camera. It's not all over the city. It's just a few specific lines that they're hitting. It'll start first on the 212 on La Brea, and then the 720 on Wilshire. And then a couple months after that, they're going to get on the Silver Line, and then another one in the downtown area, the 70 on Olive and Grand.
For those who don't know, I used to ride Metro every single day. You presently ride it almost every single day, so our experiences may be somewhat different. Can I get you, Michael Monks, to stay for another segment? Because I would like to get your assessment of what it's like riding Metro on a consistent basis. Can you do that for me?
If you pour me a nice cold glass of Faygo, I'm here all night.
What do you know about Faygo? Hey! I'm not going to get you pizza with damn pineapple on it. That's for damn sure.
That's fair.
All right. It's the Conway Show. Mo Kelly in for Conway. Yeah, Michael, that pizza's not going to happen.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. on demand from KFI AM 640.
I was right in the middle of a conversation with KFI's own Michael Monks about Metro. Last segment, we talked about the cameras, which are in process of being installed on the Metro buses, which will ticket drivers who may be illegally parked in bus lanes through the use of AI. You won't even know it until you receive the ticket in the mail. It's not like they're going to stop. But also, it got me thinking about the fact that Michael is a regular rider of Metro. I used to be a regular rider of Metro. So, Michael, let me ask you, what is your assessment of the Metro experience day to day?
Well, you know, we've talked about this a little bit before. Statistically, the problems that we encounter and that KFI reports on, other media outlets report on, statistically, that's not going to happen to you. I mean, unfortunately, these tragic events have happened, though, and it raises people's concerns about taking it. So from a public relations standpoint, it's detrimental for Metro, and I'm sure they know that. For riders, it reminds you that in spite of the fact that you're not being attacked, you got to keep your eyes and ears open. You know, I mentioned unpleasantness, and that's what you can't really quantify when reporting about incidents that have taken place. You can't really find statistics on how bad the train smelled or how deeply uncomfortable you were by the behavior of someone who didn't hurt you, who didn't hit you, but who was having a mental health episode right before you, and how that impacts whether you would want to take that train ride again. The thing that really stands out to me is, you know, look, I live downtown. I see it right outside my apartment building, how challenged some individuals are with their mental health, and it's scary and it's uncomfortable. But this is LA. I mean, this is a global city. People come from all over to see what we have to offer here. And often, if I'm taking the Beeline up to Burbank to visit you all in the studio, I see tourists who appear, you know, based on their language, that they've come from abroad. And I think they probably had no idea what this experience was going to be like with somebody either misbehaving or just creating an all-around uncomfortable experience in one of the cars as they make their way to Universal Studios. And then what story do they have to tell when they go back home?
But you're not from LA yourself, are you?
I am from Covington, Kentucky,
right?
Grand metropolis on the Ohio River.
But you also then have an outside-in view of mass transit here in the city that I wouldn't have because I'm looking at it through a native Angelino's eyes.
Exactly. And the thing is, Covington, Kentucky is part of the Cincinnati metro area. And Cincinnati has a streetcar. And for urban enthusiasts, people who like public transportation, that was a big deal when it came. But, it basically is a loop that goes around some of the downtown attractions. For me, the Metro line was one of the main draws that convinced me I could live in LA. I didn't bring a car. I sold my car before I fled Kentucky and moved here because I knew I could take these trains to wherever I needed to be, wherever I ended up working. And sure enough, by the time Chris Little called me to offer me a job at KFI, I was really excited to know that until, iHeart gave me a lovely vehicle that I could take, a car.
Wait a minute. I got to jump in there. You actually thought that LA's metro system was sufficient to accommodate you wherever you would end up working?
Absolutely, because I had been visiting LA with dreams of moving here for a decade before I finally was courageous enough to do it. And I always stayed downtown and always took the train because I'm like, I can go to Santa Monica, I could go to Long Beach, I can go to Pasadena, I can go, and sometimes you have to get on a couple trains. Sometimes you have to get on a train and a bus. Sometimes you have to get on a little train and then get on a big train. But with the right planning and, resourcefulness, you can make it work. And so LA is a transit city, and there are not a lot of cities in this country making the investments that LA is making in its transit system. I mean, there are lines sprouting out everywhere. It really is, on paper, on the map, a pretty good system for a city that is celebrated around the world, or at least known around the world for traffic, car traffic. So it's pretty great in that respect. It just needs to clean up its act to make what looks good on paper translate to real life.
How long is your commute usually?
If I'm taking from downtown to Burbank and I get lucky, let's say I walk over to Pershing Square, which again, that's where you get an environment where like, oh, come on, just outside of the station. It's just, why is this allowed? Why isn't there anybody who can make this cleaner so that I don't feel like I need to look behind my shoulder?
Let's be specific. You're talking about homeless, defecation, urination. What are we dealing with?
Check. Okay. Drug use that's going on, and it's just stuff that will make you uncomfortable outside the station. So if I walk to Pershing Square, that takes about 10 minutes. If I'm there and the train is coming, it can be anywhere from 1 to 12 minutes to wait for the train with the frequency of the B line. And then the train ride itself is exactly 23 minutes from the Pershing Square station to the Studio City Universal City station. And then I hop on the Burbank Pink Bus route, and that takes about 8 minutes to drop me off there on Olive Avenue.
Wait a minute, the Burbank Pink Bus will pick you up from the Universal City stop? Because I had to take the 158 bus.
You can take some of the Metro buses. I usually would schedule my commute to take the Pink Bus because its frequency is a little more predictable because they will be there in the high traffic hours, the morning rush and the afternoon rush. They've got every 15 minutes. So whenever the train comes down here, I know I'm going to catch a bus, and it's not as scary as, oh no, the 222 is leaving in 12 minutes. I'm still 15 minutes out. I know I'm going to get a Burbank bus even if I miss the more recent one.
And that drops you right in front on Olive.
Right in front, right across from the Whole Foods, across from our office, yeah.
How late does that run? If you were to leave, like you had a long day, you're at the office, and you want to get back downtown, like I'm usually not getting off work until 10 o'clock, so it's not an option for me, but how late would it be an option for you?
The Burbank bus, I believe, stops at about 9 o'clock.
That's what I thought.
From running there. But there's still the Metro buses that go down similar paths, not the exact same paths. But the Burbank bus will let you use your Metro card to transfer on there.
Well, all I can do is say I'm glad that you're safe. I'm glad that you haven't fallen victim to anything on Metro. And please give Metro my love. I'm still waiting for them to come on my show with me and talk about all things Metro.
They really should, because it would be important for an organization that has as much money allocated to it to come onto a platform that may not be overly inviting and have some hard questions for them, but it's an important agency, and they're doing a lot of important work that will have an impact on this region for decades to come. So I hope they do heed your call, my friend.
Yeah, I'm a teddy bear. There's nothing to worry about. I'll be nice.
You were pretty mean to pineapple on pizza. I'm not letting that go.
Well, that's different, okay?
That's justified.
Yeah, that deserves no respect whatsoever.
You're wrong, too.
I tell you, you Kentucky folk.
There's the problem.
Bye, Michael.
See you later.
I tell you, it is Conway Show. I'm Mo Kelly in for Conway. We're going to talk a little bit about college football when we come back. Michigan, USC, the first game officially in the Big Ten for USC and what it may mean for the program and also, national championship aspirations if they can pull it off. KFI AM 640, we're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
Conway Show on demand on the iHeartRadio app. Now, you can always hear us live on KFI AM 640, 4 to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and anytime on demand on the iHeartRadio app.